All right, we're back.
Yes, we are. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday, and welcome to this week's edition of Deals Revealed. Top restaurant news, sales listings, even franchise opportunities with We Sell Restaurants. I'm Robin Gagnon.
Good morning. I'm Rob Morrison. We're bringing you the biggest news of the week. Whether you're looking to buy, sell, or even join our brand as a franchisee, this is the place to be.
Okay, we're covering it all. Restaurant news, those sales, new listings, so much fun, insider tips on what's moving the market. Drop your questions in the comments. We'll answer them live.
Yeah, and you're back from your undisclosed location.
Yes.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
If you're watching live today, please say hello. Let us know where you're tuning in from. And if you're catching a replay, type replay so we know that you stopped by.
All right, we are going to dive right in. What's going on? Here are the top insights of the week. Okay, you ready?
I'm ready. What do you got?
Virtual reality and immersive dining.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Oh, yeah. It's a category the industry's never seen. The whole definition of dining, Rob, they're rewriting it in real time. So these restaurants, they're going beyond food and service and building concepts where the environment itself is the product.
Wow.
It's immersive dining powered by all this projection, mapping, augmented reality. Like you're having dinner on Mars or whatever. And increasingly full virtual reality. It's no longer a novelty. It's becoming legitimate and scalable.
I was thinking like, I don't know, New York or something, but you went right to Mars.
I went right to Mars.
The numbers behind these concepts are turning heads. Immersive dining experiences are commanding ticket prices that traditional restaurants simply can't match. When a guest is paying for a multi-sensory experience, that happens to include a meal. The revenue per seat operates on a completely different level than a standard dining room. Some of the most successful immersive concepts are generating per guest revenue that would be unrecognizable to a conventional full-service operator.
Okay, so you know what's driving this. Of course, it's the younger customers, right? It's a fundamental shift for them even in how they're spending because really experiences consistently outrank possessions in terms of where the discretionary dollars. So a meal, it becomes this memory, something worth sharing and paying a premium for. Sits in a category of its own. We've talked about entertainment for years.
Yeah.
Whole new thing. You're not sending the kids over to the arcade to play games anymore.
That's right. That's why you go out in the first place,
Yeah.
right? The technology enabling this has also dropped significantly in cost and complexity. Projection mapping systems, spatial audio, we've talked about that before. AR overlays that once required massive capital investment are now accessible to independent operators willing to build around a strong creative concept. That democratization is opening the door to immersive concepts in markets well beyond the major metro areas.
That's supposedly the entire impact of AI, leveling the playing field. So, for buyers and investors watching the restaurant space, the concepts finding the most success are not just restaurants with a light show attached anymore. They're purpose-built experiences where every element of the visit is engineered around a central narrative. In a market, really, where consumer attention, most scarce resource of all, immersive dining, showing the industry a very clear path to building some lasting demand.
All right. That was an interesting one to start with.
Yeah.
How about tableside technology changing the tipping conversation these days?
Oh gosh, there is a lot of conversation about tipping because it's always been one of these most emotionally charged topics, but tableside payment technology's done something that years of debate never could. Now tipping is a data story, and the data is showing operators something genuinely unexpected.
When restaurants moved from traditional check presentation to tableside tablets and handheld payment devices with the preset tip prompts, average tip percentages shifted upward in many cases. The friction of calculating a tip manually was replaced by a single button press at 18, 20, 25%, and a significant number of guests simply tap the suggested amount without even adjusting it.
So even at the counter, though, that's the most interesting story. Quick service and fast casual have added tip prompts to their point of sale, and screens saw some wildly inconsistent results. Some operators saw meaningful tip income flow to counter staff. Others saw guest frustration that affected overall satisfaction scores. So now there's this intentionality and some deliberate decision making about how, when, and I think also if they should present the tip screen.
Interesting. The technology also giving operators visibility they never had before. Tip data broken down by server, shift, day part, table size. It's accessible now in real time, allowing managers to spot patterns and have performance conversations that simply weren't possible with the traditional paper check.
Right. So anyone buying today, here's a tip. That payment technology is worth a close look during due diligence. How are tips collected, tracked, distributed? All that will affect staff satisfaction, guest experience, and actual labor economics from day one. It's an operational detail. It looks minor on the surface, but it turns out to matter quite a bit once you're running the business.
All right. And another one for you. Wendy's and Jack in the Box are shrinking. And why does it matter? Well, it's a story that doesn't always get connected to the restaurant buying and selling market, but it absolutely should. Two major fast food chains announcing significant location closures, and the ripple effects are very real.
Wow. Right. Wendy's, between 150 and 300 locations out by the end of 2026. Their own leadership described these as restaurants that do not elevate the brand and drag on franchisee financial performance. So Jack in the Box, same thing, much more West Coast centered, so we don't have those as much here, but closing up to 200 locations, and they're calling it portfolio optimization.
Okay, well, when chains this size start shrinking, few things can happen at once. Real estate becomes available in markets that were previously locked up.
That's opportunity.
Franchise operators who've been holding on start making decisions, right, about the future. And the buyers who've been waiting for the right opportunity start seeing options that didn't exist before.
Yes, some of those stores sit in prime real estate, right? And there's a broader signal here. So when established brands with national marketing budgets, supply chain advantages, they're closing locations, it's telling you something about the current operating environment. The restaurant's thriving right now, strong unit economics, clear value proposition. Those are the rules of thumb.
So for sellers, it's a moment to be honest about where your restaurant stands. And for buyers, it's a moment to look carefully at what's entering the market. And for anyone on either side of that transaction, this is exactly why working with experts who track these trends matters.
Absolutely. And speaking of trends, let's move on to this week's trending top new listings. 3 very different opportunities today. We're going to Florida, Tennessee, and Colorado. So if you're looking for dual brand franchises, we've got it. High volume independent operation with serious earnings in Tennessee, or get this, $1 million co-branded concept with a drive-through. This week's lineup has something for buyers at every level.
And what connects all 3 of them is simple: turnkey infrastructure and immediate cash flow. Each of these locations fully equipped, fully staffed, and operational from day one. Stepping into something proven, you're not starting from scratch.
All right, first featured opportunity, Miami Beach, Florida. Wow.
Let's go.
Let's go. Represented by Jose Torres, listed at $449,000. It's a co-branded Auntie Anne's and Jamba Juice. Sits in one of the most highest traffic, tourist-driven markets in the country. Sales exceeding $350,000, but the space is fully built out. Capital investment behind you. 1,464 square feet, loaded with everything from a Hobart dough mixer to walk-in refrigeration and freezers, prep coolers, POS, digital menu boards, everything you need to operate, already in place. The lease runs through 2032 at below market pricing. That's pretty important in Miami because that's a big market. That's a genuine advantage where commercial rents keep rising. So a buyer can step in, run the established dual brand model, even explore converting production ready space into a new concept entirely, add a third brand, right?
Right.
We can help you with lending up to $500,000, making this a very accessible opportunity without tapping your personal reserves.
All right, sounds good. In Miami, how about this one in Hendersonville, Tennessee? It's listing 37244, and it's represented by Taylor Clemmer. It's listed at $285,000. High volume, full service restaurant generating over $650,000 in annual sales, and an owner is taking home nearly $115,000. For a buyer looking at Tennessee, those numbers, they're hard to walk past.
Oh, right.
So the space, it's 3,600 square feet. It has seating there for 137 guests. Big space. It's positioned in a corridor seeing more than 25,000 vehicles per day. Monthly rent is under $10,000 with a lease in place through October 2023, so you have long-term stability in one of the state's fastest growing communities. 11 employees there, already on staff, and the kitchen is fully equipped. Has a 15-foot hood, commercial ovens, flat top, 6-burner Vulcan stove, ice machine, dishwasher, fully equipped. Lots of refrigeration there too. The seller is transitioning to retirement. Good for him or her. It'll provide 2 weeks of hand-on training covering recipes, the vendors, and the systems. The SBA lending is available on this one with as little as 15% down, making it a genuinely accessible entry point into a cash-flowing operation in Sumner County.
Sumner County, Tennessee. All right. Third listing today, Colorado Springs, Colorado, listing number 37843. Represented by Allison Gregory. She just keeps adding those listings on.
We say that name a lot.
I know. It's a co-branded. Love that. Co-branded, right? You're sharing facilities, so you're cutting costs and operating more effectively. It's been in place since 2005, generating over $1 million in sales. Owners taking home $100,000. It's a winner. 2,700 square feet. Drive-in, 40-plus seats. Patio. We love that out in Colorado. Traffic counts exceeding 35,000 vehicles today. So you got two brands working together.
Yep.
First of all, you got Schlotsky's driving lunch and catering volume, and Cinnabon. Who can resist that? Wow, high margin dessert, snack sales lifts the average ticket across multiple day parts. Employees, they're in place. Franchise support already there, includes structured onboarding, a supply chain, national marketing. So 2 decades of brand presence, $1 million. It's not something a new concept can replicate overnight.
Yeah. 3 listings, 3 completely different ownership paths, a flexible dual brand franchise in a world-class tourist market, proven high-volume operator play in suburban Tennessee, and that $1 million co-branded concept in Colorado Springs with close to 20 years of customer history behind it. Each one of those offering legitimate cash flow from day one. So if any of those opportunities align with your goals, our certified restaurant brokers are ready to walk you through valuation, financing, and every step to closing.
Okay, so here's some top insights for our sellers this week, Rob. Something every seller needs to hear before they see an offer: refusing to counter. Man, that's not a negotiating strategy. It is a deal killer, and we have proof from just this week.
So here's a story, right? We listed a restaurant, 5 days on the market.
5 days.
Not 5 weeks.
5 days.
5 days. A qualified buyer walked through the door ready to talk. They came in at about 15% under that asking price. Not unusual. It's how negotiations begin.
Yeah. My seller rejected it flat out. Would not discuss it, would not sit with it for an hour, full price or walk. And walk they did for 24 hours. Then what happened? His wife got a hold of him, put some sense in it, and he wanted to go back with a counter.
And so we did go back. And the broker on the other side had moved on.
Yeah,
Right?
that was
This
it.
was like a co-broker type of situation. 5, 6, 7 attempts, calls, messages, every professional avenue available, but nothing, right? The buyer just shut it down, was gone, and the deal stone cold dead. 1 day of digging in, out of price, and a qualified buyer who showed up in week 1 is now gone for good just because of that reaction.
Yeah, pride, right? Got in the way of the business decision. And here's the number every seller needs to internalize. According to the last Biz Buy Sell Insight report, new one on the way any day, restaurants sold at an average of 88%, right? That's 12% discount to asking price. And that's across nearly 1,800 closed transactions. That's not 100% of asking. That's not 90% of asking. It's 88 cents of asking. Listings are priced with room to negotiate because that's how negotiations work.
So a 15% gap at the opening of a negotiation, it's not a disaster.
No.
It's a conversation starter.
Exactly.
Right. Conversations can close. What you cannot do is negotiate with a door that you've already slammed on that buyer.
And there's a real cost, right? Because sellers don't think about this, but if you carry $8,000 a month in rent, payroll, food costs, insurance, utilities, your listing goes cold for 3 months because you chased off the right buyer in week 1. You just burned $24,000 in carrying costs. And that's before the price reduction that comes after that listing eventually goes stale.
Yeah, that's probably what his wife told him.
Yes, she's a smart woman.
Because here's what happens when listings sit. Buyers notice. They're looking. Brokers notice when something has been on the market 90, 120, 180 days. The first question every buyer asks is, what's wrong there? The timestamp on your listing will do more damage than any offer you've ever rejected.
Yeah, and that seller, it breaks my heart. But someone who turns down that offer on day 5 and relists 6 months later, they didn't protect anything. They just paid $24,000 for the privilege of taking less money anyway.
Yeah, so the rule here is pretty simple. Counter every offer. You can counter high, you can counter on terms that favor you, you can counter in a way that signals you know exactly what your business is worth, but you have to counter. You stay in the conversation. Do not let your ego write a check that your P&L cannot cash.
All right, I'm going to put that on a sign.
That's pretty clever. I'm
Yeah.
sure you wrote that.
Do not let your ego write a check your P&L cannot cash. Yeah. And the deal's, because the deal's never dead, right? It's never dead till someone walks away, but don't be the one that makes them walk. And if that story sounds familiar, like a relationship you once had, or if you're heading into a sale and you want to be prepared for exactly this moment, read the full article. It's at our blog, blog.wesellrestaurants.com. Everything we covered and a lot more of the details of this sticky situation waiting there for you.
All right, so that was a lot for sellers. How about buyers? Something that catches a lot of buyers off guard these days. You find a listing that you like, the numbers look solid, and the location makes sense. Then you ask about financing and realize you simply don't know where to start.
The good news is financing a restaurant's not the same as financing a house or a car. Options available to you, how much leverage you can access, really depend on the type of deal you're pursuing. It's dependent. Understand the landscape before you fall in love with a listing. That's one smart thing that a buyer can do.
Sure. Here's a quick breakdown of what the market actually looks like right now. SBA lending is one of the most powerful tools available to restaurant buyers. For established cash-flowing restaurants with clean financials, SBA loans can cover a significant portion of the acquisition with as little as 10 to 15% down. So that means a buyer with $50,000 up to $100,000 in liquid capital can start accessing opportunities that might look out of reach at first glance.
Right, and then we have unsecured lending, which is great. We Sell Restaurants has direct relationships to facilitate deals for qualified buyers. So this is really excellent for smaller acquisitions, although it goes up to $500,000. They're not too small. You can get it for second generation spaces, asset purchases, where traditional lending may not apply. Like I said, up to $500,000 without collateral. And that changes the math. It's just a good credit score. And
Absolutely.
that's it.
And then, of course, there's seller financing, which comes up more often than buyers expect, particularly when a seller is motivated to close cleanly and quickly. In those cases, a portion of the purchase price may be carried by the seller, reducing what you need to bring at the closing table.
Okay, so the takeaway. Most buyers make the mistake of treating financing as the last step. They find a listing, get excited, make an offer, and then they try to figure out how to fund it. That approach costs time, and in a competitive market, time is the one thing you cannot afford to waste.
So for the buyers closing the best deals right now, they're the ones that got pre-qualified first. They knew their number, understood their options, and when the right listing hit the market, they were ready to move with confidence instead of starting from zero. So if you're serious about buying a restaurant this year, talk to a certified restaurant broker before you start touring locations. That single conversation can save you weeks of confusion and put you in a position to act decisively when the right opportunity comes along.
And speaking of the right opportunity, how about talking about some closed transactions? Guess what? This is when a seller is reaching the next chapter of their life, a buyer stepping into something they've been working towards. We're going to share 2 stories this week that capture that. They could not be more different.
All right, so one here is a retired couple handing off their life's work to a chef who moved south to be closer to family. The owner, multi-unit franchise owner, strategically trimming his portfolio, and a family of 4 taking their first leap into the restaurant industry together. Both closed, both found the right match.
I love this matchmaking, right? Okay, so our first featured listing is out of Vero Beach, Florida, listing 30857, closed by franchise partner Ted Tallman of Port St. Lucie. The sellers was a husband and wife team. They built their restaurant together, had no prior industry background, just hard work and commitment. After years of running successful operation, they're ready to retire, right? They wanted to hand over the keys. They were ready to travel.
That's right.
Yeah, so they wanted someone who would bring it forward with the same care they brought to this location.
So who was that someone?
Yeah, it was a chef from up north who had relocated to the area to be closer to mom.
Oh.
He wanted to own his own restaurant. When he found the listing, the price, the location, everything lined up perfectly.
And Ted, our franchisee, described it simply: smooth transaction with the buyer, the seller, and the landlord. The easiest one so far, he says. That kind of clean close is a reflection of 2 parties who were genuinely well matched and a broker who knew how to bring them together.
All right, let's take it to Texas for the second one. Featured sale in Mission and McAllen, Texas, number 26871. Closed by certified restaurant broker Zoltan Lucas here in our home office.
Yep. So the seller was an experienced multi-unit pizza franchise owner who made a strategic decision to exit 2 lower performing locations that had drifted too far from his core market. With limited capacity to manage and grow those stores, selling was the right move for the health of his overall portfolio.
And these buyers, they could not have been a better match. It was a family of 4, right? So you've got a husband and wife, along with a daughter and son-in-law. So they purchased both stores together as a group. The wife, she's a residential real estate background. Collectively, they've owned and operated small businesses, just never restaurants. But this was their entry point into the industry, and they jumped in together.
Great story. There's something genuinely exciting, right, about a family making that kind of decision together, stepping into a nationally recognized franchise system with an established customer base and a support structure already in place. One of the strongest ways a first-time restaurant group can enter the market.
We have some of those. Husband and wife,
Yeah,
mother and daughter.
that's right.
Son and father groups in the We Sell Restaurant system. But in this situation, 2 very different sellers, 2 different buyers, 2 transactions ended the way they should. The right people in the right restaurant.
So if you're thinking about selling your restaurant, or if you're ready to buy one, visit WeSellRestaurants.com. Connect with a certified restaurant broker in your market. These stories happen every week, and yours could be next.
All right, now we're going to head out to some hot new listings in some different markets, different price points. So we've got a legendary lakeside supper club. You know what that is?
It's a Wisconsin thing.
It is a Wisconsin thing, isn't it? It's like a lakeside thing. This generates over $1.5 million in sales. Low rent, fully equipped restaurant, one of Texas's fastest growing cities. That's the other opportunity we're going to talk about. So tell us what makes them stand out.
All right, it's infrastructure. It's already there. It's in place. So whether you're looking at a landmark operation with decades of loyal customers and a full liquor license, or a turnkey second-gen kitchen in a booming Frisco retail corridor, the groundwork has been laid. A new owner walks in with a foundation, not a blank slate.
Okay, we're going to talk about listing 370 54. You're right. Mosony, I hope I'm saying that right, Wisconsin, represented by Travis Kuhl, listed $1,699,000. So this is one of those true Wisconsin supper clubs. And it's the first time it's been on the market in generations. $1,500,000 in annual sales, earnings of $218,000 on the books. That means it's SBA lending qualified with 15% down. I believe that real estate is involved. So that means 25 years on the note. So that's fantastic. Significant upside for a buyer that wants to add lunch, brunch, or expanded evening service. Lakeside, waterfront property within easy driving distance of many of the major cities in Wisconsin, Marshfield, Wausau, and Stevens Point. It draws both the locals, and I guess this is a destination type place. Friday, fish fries, prime rib weekends, classic cocktails. It's a reputation that brings buyers back. Get this, 6,551 square feet.
Wow.
So high volume service, private dining. I know they do lots of banquet things, right? Weddings, reunions, corporate gatherings. So full liquor license conveys along with a seasoned team. There's an attached, get this, you can live on the property. There's an attached 1,866 square foot, 4-bedroom, 3-bath house on the property. So live and work at the lake, generate additional income, make it a rental right on the lake. The seller, he's retiring, and he's going to provide, get this, up to 8 weeks.
Well, yeah.
He loves this business. He's going to do a thorough and confident handoff.
That makes a lot of sense. You know, they drink a lot of old fashions up there.
Yeah,
in
they
those supper
do.
clubs. All right, so next one here is number 37835. It's in Frisco, Texas, which is a growing place, and Jason Coleman is our broker there. He's listed at $125,000. Frisco consistently ranks among the fastest growing cities in Texas right now, and this turnkey sushi restaurant puts a new owner right in the middle of that growth. Current annual sales, $245,000. The space offers a clear runway for a buyer who is ready to grow. Space is a little bit over 1,200 square feet. The restaurant it seats 28 guests, has an efficient layout there, fully equipped kitchen, includes complete hood system, in-ground grease trap, fryer, flat top, prep table, plenty of refrigeration. There's an ice machine. It's fully equipped. The monthly rent there, including everything, your CAM, taxes, insurance, is just over $4,200 a month, making it one of the most attractive cost structures available in that market where rents continue to rise. That lease runs through January of 2027, but there is an opportunity to extend that. The restaurant currently closes 1 day a week on Sunday, giving a new owner an immediate and straightforward path to incremental revenue growth. A buyer can continue the existing sushi concept or reposition the space to a new concept using a second-generation kitchen that's fully built out and ready to go.
I thought about that. When you first said sushi, I was like, oh, I wonder how equipped it is. But it's got everything. Hood, everything.
In-ground grease trap, everything. So you could switch it over, keep the sushi, add something else.
Add tempura.
We Sell Restaurants has unsecured lending relationships that we talked about, and we can provide qualified buyers access to up to $500,000 in financing.
Okay, so 2 listings, right? Opposite ends of the price spectrum, both built on solid fundamentals. This generational supper club, proven sales in a lakeside setting, can't replicate that. And then this Frisco opportunity with a great rent, strong demographic tailwind, room to grow in every direction.
So if either of these connects with your ownership goals, click Get Complete Package to pull the financials, and get in touch with the listing broker. Our certified restaurant brokers are standing by to walk you through the numbers, the financing options, and the next steps so you can move forward with confidence.
And speaking of moving forward with confidence, at We Sell Restaurants, we build these relationships with our clients. They really define us, right? Every transaction's different. Every seller and buyer comes to the table with their own goals, concerns, and the brokers on our team, we show up for all of it. So this week, we're going to hear from 2 buyers that speak to that kind of commitment.
And you'll notice what stands out here, both of these, not just that the deals got done, it's how the clients felt throughout the entire process. That's the standard we hold ourselves to, and the experience every client who works with We Sell Restaurants deserves.
All right, we're going to start in Northwest Arkansas. Some of our newest franchisees there, certified restaurant brokers Ty and Jason, were working with Ahmed, and he says Ty and Jason are pros at what they do. Very knowledgeable about the restaurant business, always available to answer your questions, precise and to the point. If they promise something, they will deliver. And most of all, they have a great attitude.
They do.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Always available, precise. If they promise it, they deliver. That combination is rarer than it should be in the brokerage business, but it's exactly what separates a great broker from a good one. Ty and Jason set the standard in Northwest Arkansas that every client in that market can count on.
All right, now we're going to head down to Broward and Palm Beach County, Florida. Michelle Fettis shared her experience with certified restaurant broker Ken Eisenband. She says, I highly recommend Ken. He is knowledgeable, responsive, and truly understands the restaurant market. His professionalism and attention to detail make the process smooth from start to finish.
Love it. Smooth from start to finish. That's the goal on every single transaction. Does not happen by accident. Nope. Takes preparation, communication, and a broker who genuinely knows the market they're working in. Ken definitely does that. He delivered all of that for Michelle, and that kind of experience is what we work to provide every client with who trusts us with their business.
All right, Ahmad, Michelle, every client who places their trust in We Sell Restaurants, thank you. It's your confidence in our brokers that drives everything we do.
If you've worked with one of our certified restaurant brokers and would like to share your experience, we would love to hear from you. And if you're ready to start your own journey as a buyer or a seller, visit WeSellRestaurants.com to connect with a broker in your market today.
Or become a broker.
Why not?
Right? There is a moment happening right now in the restaurant industry. More owners are thinking about their exit than ever before. Baby boomers who built their concept over decades, they're ready to transition. First-time buyers, they're entering the market. They have this capital, this ambition. In the middle of it all, there's an incredible need for professionals who understand how restaurant transactions work.
It's not a generic business broker. No, it's a specialist, someone who can read a profit and loss statement, understand a lease, assess the value of a concept, and guide both sides of the deal through one of the most important financial decisions of their lives. That experience is exactly what We Sell Restaurants has spent years building.
Yes.
This one right here. And it is exactly what the market is demanding right now.
And what makes this franchise different from anything else out there? It's focus, right? Not general business brokerage that occasionally sells a restaurant. It's the only franchise brand in the country built exclusively around restaurant sales. Every tool, every system, every training program, every marketing platform, all of it designed specifically for one restaurant type.
And the business model itself is worth talking about. No inventory, no employees to manage, no kitchen, no Friday night emergencies. You're building a professional practice working with buyers, sellers, and franchise brands to close deals and create real outcomes for real people. It's a business that rewards expertise, relationships, and hustle.
And the support, it's national. Marketing resources, our technology platform, lead generation, a network of experienced brokers all working towards the same thing. Closing more restaurant transactions and delivering results that hold up. You are in business for yourself, but never by yourself.
If you have a background in restaurants or franchising, finance, or business, or anything really, and you're ready for your next chapter, it's worth a serious look. So visit WeSellRestaurants.com/franchise to learn more about joining the nation's only franchise brand built exclusively around restaurant sales.
All right, and here's something else to consider to think about if you are considering restaurant ownership. Two buyers enter the market at the same time with the same budget. One builds a new franchise location from the ground up. The other buys a franchise resale. 18 months later, where are they both standing?
Well, the first buyer is still waiting on site approval or lease negotiations or permits to build out, equipment installation and hiring or training, and a soft open that may or may not land the way they hoped. They've spent their capital and their time and a significant amount of energy, not collected yet $1 single in revenue.
I hate it and I see it all the time. But that second buyer, by contrast, he opened the doors on the 30th day because it was just a transition. They never closed. The staff was trained, the supplier relationships in place, the customer base, they already knew the brand and knew the location. And the financials from the previous owner gave him a clearer picture of what the business was capable of producing.
And that's the fundamental difference between a franchise resale that it creates versus opening one from scratch. You're not betting on a projection. You're buying a proven track record in an established location with the brand system already working behind you. The risk profile is genuinely different for most buyers, significantly lower.
Yeah, and what a lot of buyers don't realize, franchise resales also come with the full support of the franchisor. Your training, marketing, operations, supply chain, all of that transfers over. You're stepping into a structure that took years to build without having to do it yourself.
And the variety of opportunities available right now is broader than most people expect. We Sell Restaurants works with franchise resales across concepts, price points, and markets, from quick service and fast casual to full service and co-branded locations. So whether you're a first-time buyer looking for a lower risk entry or an experienced operator looking to add a unit efficiently, there's likely a resale opportunity that fits your goals.
And the key, it's knowing how to evaluate them correctly. Franchise transfer requirements, lease terms, royalty structures, brand approval, all this factors into whether resale is the right move and whether the price reflects the true opportunity.
All right.
You want to wrap us up?
Okay, yep, that wraps it up. This week's top sales and listings, franchise opportunities. So if you're buying or selling or exploring a career in restaurant brokerage, we would love to help you.
Yeah, you tell us every week, right? Great deals move quickly. Click the link in the comments or visit WeSellRestaurants.com to learn more.
Yep, if you enjoyed today's show, hit a thumbs up, share it with someone interested in restaurant ownership.
And follow our pages so you never miss a new listing. We'll be back next Friday with more.
Yep, have a great weekend, and remember, our name says it all.
We Sell Restaurants.